Hello, my name is Voya and welcome to my deep guide. Well, today's video is basically wrapping up the year of eNote taking devices, and I'm gonna give you a smorgasbord of 7 devices out there on the market that people might be actually thinking about. And in this video we're talking about the best 10-inch eNote taking devices of year 2022. The contestants in this comparison video are going to be Amazon Kindle Scribe, Remarkable 2, Supernote A5X, Books Note Air 2 Plus, but this is my faithful old Note Air 1 representing that one because Note Air 2 Plus is apparently off having a party on an island of some sort. Books Tab Ultra, Kobo Ellipsa, and the Huawei MatePad Paper. Alright, we've met the contestants and now let's check out the categories and how they compete and compare in these different categories. And the first category is going to be the design and the build quality. And in this category we start off with kind of like an equilibrium between the Kindle Scribe, Remarkable 2 and the Supernote A5X. And even though they are all different devices, they score quite highly. With a couple of notes here, I think that personally I still believe that the design, just a pure design of the Remarkable 2 is absolutely fantastic. Even today, 2 years in, it's really good, and for me probably the best design device of the lot. However, this is a design and build quality category, and what pulls it down a bit is the issue that spontaneously the screens would crack or have some technical issues, which does kind of indicate a little bit of a problem with these things. Now, with the Amazon Scribe, we haven't had it long, but the initial impression, so we don't really know how reliable it's going to be and if it's going to also develop some issues like the Remarkable 2 did over time. But the initial impression is that it's a very high quality built device. It's a lovely device the way it's designed and built, and if previous reliability and build quality of other Kindle devices is anything to go by, then that's a good indication for the Kindle Scribe as well. Now, as far as the A5X goes, well, what's an all-plastic device doing here in the category, mixing up with these metal and glass devices? Well, it's there because it's a really well-designed device, beautiful, smart design with some super functionalities, but more importantly, the build quality is absolutely excellent. And out of all of these devices, this is the only one that's actually fall tested, and I've seen images where it would fall and the corner would completely chip off, the device continues working normally, or a dog chews on an end and the device continues to work normally, which is something that would definitely break the glass screen and more fragile metal and glass devices that we have here. So that's why Supernote is ranking that high. Next is the Books Note Air 2 Plus, or the Note Air 1 in this case that I'm flapping about, but it's the exact same device. And I've had this one now for well over 2 years, and haven't had a single problem with it. It fell, it had a spill on it, it was with me all over the place, and in using it constantly, I haven't had a single problem with this device. It's a beautiful device. The design I still really love, and it's thin and it didn't develop any problems, so the design itself and the build quality has stood the test of time, and that's why the Note Air 2 Plus ranks slightly higher than the rest. Then we get the Tab Ultra, and while it is definitely a really well built device, it has design issues such as the sharp edges on the corners and the awful protruding camera that actually doesn't allow you to have the device flat on a surface, which is definitely a serious con. Somewhere along the line with the same 8 grade in the design and build quality would be the Kobo Ellipsa as well. Why it doesn't score higher? Well, as a design, you don't have a magnetic clip, and the case that it comes in, there's no good way, there's no practical way to actually carry the pen around. Not that you want to carry that pen around because you don't really want to write on this because it's really bad, but more on that later. But overall, excellent design, all-round plastic design, but it is a little bit bendy and it is a little not perfectly straight. We're not talking about big deals here, and when you put it on the surface, it's not perfectly level, so those things knock it down a peg. And then finally, we have the MatePad paper, which honestly, design-wise, I love this one, and for me this would be the runner-up as a design thing, and the materials used are beautiful and it's really, really good. However, the build quality is the thing that actually pegs it down quite a bit, and the issue here is that it's not a perfectly straight device, which is definitely something that you feel most out of all of these when you start writing on a flat surface. Well, apart from the Tab Ultra, but that one's for different reasons. This one is supposed to be flat, but it's not. It has kind of angles here and there, which is a strong indication that the build quality and the internal design of this chassis could have been improved somewhat. And the winner of the design and the build quality category is the Boox Note Air 2 Plus. Next category is the specifications of the device, and without any surprise, Kindle Scribe actually scores quite high. Now, we don't really know, I don't know, what the CPU is, what the RAM is, because Kindle or Amazon doesn't really reveal these things, and there's no easy way for me to test that out and find it out. However, what actually matters is the performance of the device, and this is not just the CPU, RAM, and storage. What also is counted in this category is the screen and the overall specifications of the device. And the Kindle Scribe offers a variety of storage options. So you have your 16, 32, or 64 gigabytes of storage, which is really nice. Has a fantastic 10.2-inch 300 ppi screen, has an excellent front light and all of these things. And on top of that, it's a very, very snappy and responsive device. So very, very well spec'd out device as a whole. Then we get to the Remarkable 2, which unfortunately scores only 4 in the specifications, and that shouldn't come as a surprise. Not because of its age. Even when it came out, its specifications were dated, because it only has a dual-core CPU, has a limited amount of RAM, it has storage, which is its biggest limitation, and here you can see that the Supernote and the Remarkable score quite closely, 4 and 5, but the Supernote edges out the Remarkable simply because it has 32 gigabytes of storage. So that is mainly the only difference as far as specifications go between the two, and it also actually has a Bluetooth. So it does have some things that are definitely in favor of Supernote A5X. Next in the list are the Boox devices, the Note Air 2 Plus and the Tab Ultra, and without any surprise, I mean, these are the full-on Android-powered, spec'd out, like tricked out tablets, and they score the highest, of course. The only difference between the Note Air 2 and the Tab Ultra is actually that GPU that's added to the Tab Ultra and the addition of the camera and the ability to actually do snapshots and scanning and things like that, which makes the Tab Ultra not just the winner of this category in specifications, but it actually makes it the most powerful and most spec'd out e-ink or e-note taking device on the market today. Closely behind it we have the Kobo Ellipsa, which is slightly more powerful than the A5X with its quad-core CPU, but that's pretty much it. Everything else is fairly similar, and it does have addition of a front light, even though it's not a dual front light, so that's kind of but it is still a part of the spec. And then last in the list, scoring a 7, which is a very, very respectable score, is the MatePad Paper, which is a very well equipped device, and it has an okay front light, again single color, but overall it's a very snappy device and very, very powerful device. The winner of the specifications category is the Boox Tab Ultra. Next category is the battery life, and here the undisputed champion and the winner of the battery life category is the Kindle Scribe, because it just offers in both writing and especially reading simply superb battery life. And that was not an easy thing to do, because in the same category you have the Note Air 2 Plus, which has a massive battery and also fantastic battery life, but Kindle Scribe is simply better. Then we have the Remarkable 2, which is SuperNote A5X, and the MatePad Paper, pretty much in the same category, sharing the third spot, closely followed by the Tab Ultra, scoring a 7, because that GPU is a power-hungry monster, and you have quite a bit of a discrepancy between the Note Air 2 Plus and the Tab Ultra, despite Tab Ultra having the largest battery of any device here. And the last is the Kobo Ellipsa, simply because its battery life is okay, but not that good when you actually compare it to the rest of the competitors. Next category is the screen category, and in this category we're talking, so many category. And in this category we are taking into consideration the overall image quality, the specifications of the screen surface, the reflectivity, all of the things, the front light as well, all of the stuff combined goes into this category. And again, Kindle Scribe is the best one as far as the screen performance goes. And it's not really a surprise, because it has 300 ppi on a 10.2 inch screen, absolutely wonderful image clarity, quality, cleanliness, yes, it's a screen with an excellent hygiene. But yeah, awesome contrast. It's just an absolutely gorgeous screen and a lovely viewing pleasure. And not only that, it's also a Kindle device, which means that it's coupled with an excellent dual color front light, which is independently controlled, uniform, beautiful, easy to use as well. And on top of that, you also have a wonderful writing surface, and on top of that, you have excellent reflectivity as well. So it's no wonder that the Kindle Scribe is a clear winner in the screen category, and it scores full marks at 10. Next in line would be the Remarkable at 7, and it does have an okay screen, but it has issues such as no front light, and also that screen protector surface and the paper-like surface in the case of many devices, Remarkable 2 included, that has a negative effect on the contrast, crispness, clarity, and a little bit the darkness is a little bit affected on the Remarkable 2, so it scores a bit lower. A5X is a bit better than the Remarkable 2, simply because, again, because of that surface itself, because it's not a paper-like quality, it doesn't distort the image itself, so you do have a bit more clarity, precision of shapes, and yeah, image clarity and contrast is a bit better on the SuperNote A5X, but it also doesn't have a front light, so it can't really score that high. Then we have the Brooks Note Air 2 Plus X Epsilon Z square root of whatever it may be. And that one scores pretty much the same as the Remarkable, even though it does have a front light. The built-in surface, the paper-like surface, is a bit more rough than on the Remarkable, and that has also a slightly more negative effect. We're talking about very small differences, but it is there to actually kind of pull it back from the advantage that it has a front light. It's pulled back a little bit when compared to the Remarkable 2, so they are roughly around the same image quality and same screen performance. Tab Ultra scores highly and higher than the Note Air 2 because it doesn't have that paper-like screen surface, so the image clarity and quality is really good and uninterrupted with that paper-like film surface on top. But furthermore, it's also the clarity itself, lack of ghosting, is further increased on the Tab Ultra because of that addition of the GPU that, amongst other things, has that as a role to do. So that puts the Tab Ultra a little bit higher. Then we get to the Kobo Ellipsa, which manages, despite the deficiency of not having a dual front light and having a paper-like kind of a surface on top, it still manages to produce lovely image quality that is simply nicer. That's the best way to actually say it. It's just nicer than these screens, and it is a newer panel, so it does make sense that it's a little bit better than the older devices such as the Remarkable 2 and the SuperNote A5X. And then finally we have the MatePad Paper, which performs okay but nothing spectacular, so pretty much the same performance like you had on the Remarkable 2. Now when we get to the reader category, I am not talking about these devices as an e-readers. No, this is the best 10-inch eNote taking device. So we're talking about reader and document capabilities, what you can do with the device, what it offers you to do from a reading capacity, including marking up documents and all of these things. So with that in mind, Kindle Scribe scores the lowest, which isn't really a surprise because while it has a wonderful screen, and yes, you do have Kindles in there, you can't really do much, and as an eNote device, document handling is abysmal, simply because of that misleading advertising that's still been going on with the Kindle, where they're saying you can directly write on PDFs, but not there, and you never get a PDF on this device that you can write on. You can only get a KFX file, which is a conversion, which is unreliable, might break your documents, forces you to send your documents onto a server. You can never mark up a document directly and be sure that what you get is going to be consistent. So as such, it scores the lowest. Next, slightly above Kindle Scribe is the Remarkable 2, which, while it does have some capabilities and some things have been basic things have been added to the document functionality, the lack of formatting capabilities, lack of basically selecting text or anything really, it's a very, very limited platform as far as the reader and document markup goes, so it scores a 5. Then we get to the SuperNote A5X, which just keeps climbing after each update, and they just give more and more and more to this platform, and they do not neglect the reader aspect of the platform. And that means that you now have a properly usable landscape format on the A5X, good formatting capabilities, simple way of using it. You don't have to go and tap all of the billions and buttons and things like that. So it's a very, very powerful platform, and as such, it scores a very, very respectable 8. Next in line are the Books brothers, sisters, siblings, whatever they may be, the Note Air 2 Plus and the Tab Ultra, and they scored the same, the maximum, because it's the same platform, and the Neo Reader and basically the full-on Android and everything you can have, Kobo, Kindle, any PDF, anything, and what you can do with those documents is absolutely spectacular, and you still don't have anything on the market of the e-ink or eNote devices that can actually match this too closely. The only one that can get closer is basically the SuperNote and the MatePad Paper, but they also have their own limitations, and none of them are as powerful as the Neo Reader and the Books platform are. And we also get the Kobo Ellipsa scoring a 5, because it has a similar set of limitations and problems like the Remarkable 2 does. Now we get to the writing experience, not the pens, but the complete overall writing experience, and what is basically accounted for in this category. Well, it's basically writing latency, writing comfort, the pen itself that you get with the device, and how the writing is on the device out of the box, no modifications, no need to buy anything else. What do you get when you buy the device? What kind of writing experience you get? And again, here as well, Kindle Scribe scores the maximum amount of points simply because of that fabulous screen, excellent reflectivity, excellent writing surface, fantastic pen, and the fastest writing latency on the market today. So it's a complete no-brainer. It is closely followed by Remarkable 2 and the SuperNote A5X, which basically both perform at almost the exact same speed, and they perform excellently and provide a fantastic writing comfort, although it is different. So Remarkable 2 is more on the rougher, papery kind of side, while the SuperNote is more on a softer kind of things, but both provide unique but excellent writing experience. Third place is shared by the Books siblings, simply because they do have a very, very similar type of writing experience. It's a really good writing experience out of the box, but a couple of caveats, because there is a difference between the Note Air 2 Plus and the Tab Ultra. Note Air 2 Plus comes with a pre-applied paper-like film, so it does provide you with a better writing feedback and feel than the Tab Ultra, which doesn't have that, and it's more smooth. The pen is good but not great, so it's okay but not great. So why do they score the same? Well, simply because the Tab Ultra wins back the points by having the second best writing latency that is a lot faster than what you actually get on the Note Air 2 or 2 Plus, and is only bested recently by the Kindle Scribe. So that's how they equalize there. Then we have the Kobo Ellipsa, which scores a 2, simply because I'm trying to be generous. But how to summarize writing experience on the Kobo Ellipsa, it's a joke. It's really bad. And finally, we have the MatePad Paper, which has a surprisingly decent writing experience, because your initial impression would be from the pen and everything here, it doesn't give an indication that it's going to be that good, but it actually is. So it's a very, very good and respectable 7 for the MatePad Paper in the writing experience category. Next category is the note-taking capabilities. And here we are talking about what does the platform allow you to do when you are note-taking. So how far can you take the note-taking experience, the exporting process, the functionalities of the notebook, the ability to organize your notebooks, and handwriting recognition, all sorts of things that you have on these devices. And we start with the Kindle Scribe, and I gave it a generous 1, not a 0, simply because you can actually write on it and it has a notebook. Other than that, it has absolutely nothing. If those updates that they're promising do kind of provide something more, I'm pretty sure that it's going to jump up to maybe 2 or 3, depending on what they implement. But until actually it gets to being anywhere near the competition, I don't see it being, it's not a competitive product as far as note-taking capabilities go. That's a simple fact. Then we have the Remarkable 2 scoring a really, really good 8, which basically is the same thing that the MatePad Paper also scored, but for different reasons. So both of these devices provide you with a very, very good way to organize your notebooks, and you have multitudes of functionalities that you can add. Yes, they are different. So Remarkable 2 note-taking can do certain things that the MatePad Paper can't, and vice versa. So for that, you can check out my in-depth reviews and see the details of what functionalities are there and are not. But overall, both are very, very capable and usable note-taking devices. Winner of this category is the SuperNote A5X, and only because of the consistent support and the upgrades and the updates that the team is extracting from this fabulous device. With the recent addition of the real-time conversion notebooks, how that actually functions, the hyperlinks and the links, and how those things have been implemented, and the improved writing lines and the brushes and all of these things, the note-taking capabilities and the note-taking experience on the SuperNote A5X is simply a notch above the competition. The others are trying to get there, but SuperNote just does every single thing better than the rest of the competitors as far as note-taking capabilities and the note-taking experience is concerned. So it's no wonder that it actually scores the highest, because simply it is the best. And again, it seems to be that their old slogan was SuperNote for those who write. Well, that really, really reflects in how the device and the platform has developed and matured and evolved over the course of time. Then we got in the second place, we got the Books siblings. They scored the same because it's the exact same platform. So you have the exact same powerful, super powerful note-taking capabilities, but not as good as on the SuperNote A5X, simply because, yes, they've added the linking capabilities, but it's much more limited, and the way it's implemented is not that good. And yes, you do have the ability to add shapes and sounds and some things that you don't have on the SuperNote, but then again, the handwriting recognition that's recently added on the SuperNote works so much better, and it's just so much more easier to use than on the Books platform. So those are the areas where the SuperNote actually edges out the note-taking capabilities and experience of the Books platform. Then we have the Kobo Ellipsa, which, despite its absolutely abysmal writing experience, scores relatively high and quite a respectable 7 in the note-taking capabilities, and that is mainly and only thanks to its advanced notebook option and the vast capabilities that are basically unique in the whole world of the eNote taking devices. So if those are the types of things that you're looking for, what the advanced notebook can offer, you can only find it on the Kobo Ellipse, and that's a very valuable point to keep in mind. Next is the extras category, and the extras category is basically everything that falls outside of the realm of basic e-reader and basic note-taking capabilities, right? So we start with the Kindle Scribe, and it scores a 3, not a 1, because it does have rudimentary, but the web browser is there and you can kind of use it. But more importantly, the thing that actually brings the score up to 3 for it is the Audible itself. So it does have an extra thing and it works, and that's okay. Then we have Remarkable 2 scoring a 6, very respectable 6, because it does have additional features, really useful features such as screen sharing. And mainly that screen sharing is the one that pulls up the score so much higher, because everything else is rather limited, which is the point of the device, so it's fine. It doesn't have those extra bells and whistles, but it does have some extras, which is a good point to see. Supernote A5X is next, scoring an 8, a very, very good 8 with the extras. So like the Remarkable 2, it's a fairly limited platform in general, because that's the focus of the device, and that's fine. But even as such, it does offer a lot more of extra functionalities than the Remarkable 2 does, especially again thanks to all of those updates that the Supernote team keeps rolling out. Next in line is the Boox Note Air 2 Plus, scoring an awesome 9, because it's a full-on Android platform, so it has all the best bells and whistles that you may think of, and is bested only by the Tab Ultra, because that one has everything a Note Air 2 Plus has, plus the GPU, which is an awesome addition, and that camera, which basically doubles as a scanner as well. So it's no wonder that the Tab Ultra is the winner of the extras category, because that's the focus of that device. Kobo Ellipse is right down the middle, around a 5, so doesn't have too much, doesn't have too little, has a little bit of this, a little bit of that, nothing extra, but sufficient not to score as low as the Kindle Scribe did. And then finally we have the MatePad Paper, scoring an 8 in the extras category, simply because it has also, it's almost an Android but not an Android, so it would have scored a 9 if it had a Google Play Store as well, and if it was able to do those things, but you can't do that. You have to sideload apps and you can't really guarantee when it's going to work, and so those things kind of knock it down a peg, but it still scores a very respectable 8. And finally, we come to the last category of this comparison, which is the value for money. And here we're taking into account the relationship between how much the device costs and what you get for that amount of money. And that was an interesting one to actually try and get as objective as I can judgment on these devices. And it's interesting because Kindle Scribe, Remarkable 2 and the Supernote A5X, even though they are priced at very different ranges and they offer different types of things, roughly I think that they do offer the same type of value for money, scoring at 7. And here's why. Kindle Scribe offers the best screen, the best writing experience, awesome surface, excellent build quality for a very, very low price. Yes, it has a lot of limitations, but you do get a lot for your dollars. Remarkable 2 has abandoned their completely insane attempt from last year to extort money from their users by, paywalling features that were there normally. So now, when you're no longer bound to you have a monthly subscription to actually have the features of a device, the value of it has risen back up. So the value for money is actually good, because you can also get it for a fairly reasonable price if you don't go bananas with the bells and whistles and the additions and things like that. So if you keep things basic, you get a good value for your money. However, if you do want to spec it out with everything the best, then the value for money drops drastically. So we're talking about a reasonably spec'd out Remarkable 2 is an adequate value for money. Now, why is Supernote in the same category as these devices when it costs a lot more than these two, especially when you add like import taxes and things like that? It's a very costly device. Well, simply because what you get for that amount of money is a lot of functionality, a lot more than what you get on either the Scribe or the Remarkable 2. The winner of the value category is the Boox Note Air 2 Plus because it's simply an excellent device that offers so much functionality. It's a versatile, well-built, well-designed device, and it's not too pricey considering what you actually get for that price. I would also mention that I think personally that the Note Air 2 non-plus version is an even better value because it's cheaper than that, and the only difference is the battery life. So that's something that you can definitely keep in mind. And yeah, in my mind, Note Air 2 would be the ultimate winner of the value category, and the Note Air 2 Plus is the close second place. Tab Ultra scores a 6, as does the Kobo Ellipsa, and both devices score lower in the value simply because of the relationship between how much they cost and what they offer. So yes, Tab Ultra offers a ton, but it also costs $600 or more depending on the shipping and import taxes and things like that. So a massive amount of money for a 10.3-inch monochromatic device. Kobo Ellipse, on the other hand, would have a much better value if you could buy it without that dumb, horrible case/docking system, and you can still only buy it in a pack, which raises the price and therefore lowers the value proposition of the Kobo Ellipse. And then finally we have the MatePad Paper, which is quite okay. So it offers quite a lot. It's not cheap, but it's not super expensive. And basically, if you can get it, because it's a little bit difficult to get it, but if you can get it, you do get quite a bit of a bang for your buck. So now it's time to tally up these scores and see the final results and who is or what is the best 10-inch eNote taking device of year 2022. And here are the results. Kobo Ellipsa scored last with 5.89, not really a surprise. Then we have a Kindle Scribe, which is closely followed by the Remarkable 2. Then we have a little bit of a gap, and Huawei MatePad Paper is next in line with 7.44. And then we have a jump to the first 3 places, and in the third spot is the Supernote A5X with 7.89 score. Second place is the Tab Ultra with 8.33, and the winner is the Boox Note Air 2 Plus with a very, very good 8.67 score, but apparently, obviously, it's too cool to even be here to collect the award because it's parting somewhere along, but I guess the Note Air 1 will bring it to it once it sobers up a bit. So there you have it. The purpose of this was I was trying to be as objective as I can, and this is not what I would personally pick. I will create a separate video towards the end of the year where I give the MDG awards, My Deep Guide awards, which is going to be my subjective take on different categories, which I believe is my favorite device for slightly different categories than these. But this was a take with the categories that matter most to the majority of people who are looking to buy a device like this. And the purpose of the video was to try and separate and explain these things to the potential buyers and users so that it serves as a helpful aid to make an informed buying decision. I hope that you found the video useful and helpful or entertaining. If you did, please like and subscribe and ding the notification bell down in the description below to get notified when new videos come out on My Deep Guide. Also, I'd like to invite you to check out the mydeepguide.com/shop and check out the My Daily Organizer 2023 is up on sale there. It's your yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily organizer planner for personal, professional needs. And it's something that's been helping out a lot of people all over the world, which is something that I'm very grateful for and happy to see. So check it out and maybe it's something for you or maybe it's not. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye.